What's up, what's happening? Today we are making 4 different types of gyoza, your favorite anime food, okay? If you want to know how to make this and some bombast dipping sauce, keep watching. So we're going to start with the dipping sauce. So you just want to get a little bowl. I'm just going to use this little cup and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now mine says premium light soy sauce. You can use any soy sauce. I don't think it really matters. So just empty that into your container. Next we're going in with some vinegar. If you have rice vinegar, use that, but I have this white wine vinegar and I'm just going to add 1 tablespoon. Next you're going to take some spring onion or green onion, dice it up nice and finely and add that in, and you can add how much or how little you want. I like a lot of onion. Next I'm going in with some chili flakes. Again, use as much or as little as you want. I'm using about that much. So I'm just going to give it a little mix and that's it, that's your sauce done. So you can just put that to one side and leave it to kind of marinate. So next we're going to make the dough or the wrappers for the outside of the gyoza. So go ahead and empty 2 cups of plain flour into a bowl, and I measured this as 500 milligrams, 250 for each cup. And then you're going to want to add 1 cup or 250 milligram of water that has just been boiled. And go ahead and use a bit of salt as well. Then you're just going to want to stir this together until it is all combined, or until it starts to get a bit sticky. Next you're going to have to go in with your hands, get those hands dirty and start to mush this all together. Just make sure everything's nice and combined because we're going to have to make it into some dough and knead it. And once you can get it into a ball, it's ready to knead. So go ahead and take some plain flour and use this to cover a clean surface. And this is so that our dough doesn't stick. You might also want to put a little bit on your hands as well to stop the dough from sticking. So work that together and knead it for about 6 minutes. You can get into a nice rhythm, just knead it, fold it, knead it, fold it. And then after about 6-7 minutes it's done. You can go ahead and put it back into your bowl and cover it. We're going to make the filling first and then come back to the dough later. So I'm making 4 types of gyoza today. 2 are veg and 2 will be prawn. The veg I'm going to use are mushrooms, carrots, some fresh spring onion or green onion, cabbage, ginger and garlic. So first I'm going to dice up some spring onion pretty fine. I'll show you how fine in a sec. Like that. And once you're done chopping, just put that into a bowl. Next I'm going to take about a thumb-sized amount of ginger, peel the skin off and then go ahead and dice that as fine as I can get it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just avoid having super large chunks. I'm going to do the same thing with 3 cloves of garlic and add all of that to the same bowl. And then separate the contents of that bowl into 3. So let's prepare the veg filling. I'm going to dice up 3 mushrooms and I'm going to do it quite small. Obviously all of this filling has to fit into a little gyoza, so you want to try and cut it as small as possible but don't completely mince it. And I'm going to pop all of this into one of my 3 bowls. Now grab your cabbage. I'm going to use half of this cabbage. You don't really need to use a specific type, just go ahead and slice that up pretty fine. Next is the carrot. You're going to peel that. And then you could grate this if you wanted, but I just decided to continue using the peeler to get it into these kind of thin slices. And you want them to be quite thin because you want it to cook quickly. You don't want to be sitting around waiting for this to cook. So go ahead and slice that as thin as you can get it. And then whatever you have left over, if you can't peel it or grate it anymore, just go ahead and cut it into small pieces or just eat it. I ended up eating this. So that's all the veg prepped. Now back to the dough. You're going to take that dough out of the bowl and cut it in half. And remember to put flour down on the surface again. Now take one of those halves and roll it into a log about 1 inch or so thick. It really doesn't have to be perfect, just try and get it as even as you can. Then using a damp knife or a wet knife so it doesn't stick, go ahead and cut your log into about inch wide pieces like this. Next you're going to roll it into a ball, flatten it with the palm of your hand and then get a rolling pin covered in flour so it doesn't stick and roll this out into a circle. And you'll see how big mine are. You can do them a little bigger than this, but just take your time with it. You know, sometimes they're going to come out really nice and round like this. Sometimes they're going to come out looking like, I don't know, some alien head shape. And once you've rolled all of those out, set them aside. Don't put them on top of each other because they will stick and you'll have to do this whole process again, okay? Don't even, I had to learn this the hard way. So yeah, make sure they are separate from each other. Now those are prepped, we can cook our filling. So I'm just showing you a few things that I have. I've got some adobo there, chilli, some garlic paste, some mirin, sesame oil, which I'm going to use to fry the filling in, some salt and some soy sauce. So starting with the curry veg gyoza, this is the first one I'm going to make. I have about 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil in a pan on medium-high heat. And I'm going to put a little bit of garlic puree in there and fry it off a little. I'm then going to add about, I don't know how much this is, okay? I just keep going until my ancestors tell me to stop. Okay, we're going to add some medium curry powder, then a bit of ground cardamom. Next, I'm going to add a bit of paprika. If you have smoked paprika, this would work really good as well. And then a bit of black pepper, and I'm just going to let that fry off a little bit. I think you're actually supposed to let curry powder fry down a little bit before you add the rest of your ingredients, so you'll know it's ready when it starts to bubble like this. Then go ahead and add half of your veg from your veg pot or bowl and let that fry off a little. Now, oh, I did add some adobo. This stuff is like crack, y'all. I have to put it in everything. But go ahead and let that fry off. Oh, look, again with the adobo. Yeah, so let that fry off. You can put a lid over it and let this cook for about, I don't know, about 10 minutes. No longer than 10 minutes. Because everything's chopped really finely, it will cook pretty quick. So once that's done, put it into a bowl and then we will move on to the next filling. So next, I've added the same ingredients, the curry powder, cardamom, paprika, all that good stuff that I mentioned before, along with the spring onion, garlic, and ginger that we separated earlier. And this is going to be for the curry prawn gyoza. So the same curry kind of ingredients that we want, except we're going to add a little bit of water so that we get it into a nice paste. So you're going to cook it exactly the same way, fry it off a little, and then put a lid on for about no more than 5 minutes to let that curry cook out. And you want to keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn. Once that's done, you can scoop it onto these prawns. I prepared these prawns earlier, deveined them, washed them, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm going to set that aside. So next is the spicy veg gyoza. In the pan, I've got the same amount of sesame oil. I have some black pepper, paprika, a little curry powder, and then I'm going in with this Korean hot pepper paste. I just saw it when I was out shopping and I thought it would taste pretty good. So I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of that. I forgot to add some garlic, so I'm going in with the garlic as well. And some red chilies, of course, because this is a spicy one. And fry that off. It looks a lot like tomato puree. Fry it off a little and then add the other half of your veg from earlier that you prepped. Again, cook it in the same way. Cover it with the lid, 5 to 10 minutes, and it's done. So the last gyoza is just going to be a fresh prawn gyoza. So I'm just going in with some spring onion, ginger, garlic, and some adobo, and that is literally it. Right, so I'm quickly going to show you guys how to wrap these. Mine are looking really trash, but you know, I'm just going to do the rest of these curry prawn ones. So you get your little wrap. This one's actually pretty round. You're going to fill it. I'm going to put about 4 prawns in each one, like that. And then you want to get a little bit of water and rub it around the edges on both sides of the wrapper. Get them nice and wet. And then what I do is fold it in half like so, press it together like this, and then you kind of like pinch the sides. So pinch it like that and squeeze it together, and just go along and keep pinching and squeezing together. And if it doesn't stick, just get a little bit more water, not too much, and like smush it together. And yeah, this one doesn't look too bad. I've made worse, so yeah, that's how we looking. So this is how the gyoza are looking. You know, they're okay. That one looks a bit damaged, but it don't matter, it's gonna taste fine. So to cook it, I'm just putting these face down, they don't have a face, do they? I'm putting them down in a frying pan with a little olive oil, and I'm just making sure that they're properly making contact with the bottom of the pan so that it gets a nice brown on it. So you want to fry that for about a minute or so, about a minute, and then you're going to add some water into the pan and cover it straight away with a lid. And this is so the top of the gyoza can kind of steam. See all that steam that's about to come out? Yeah, that's cooked to the top of our gyoza. Gyoza. This will take about no more than 3 minutes altogether. It cooks really quickly. It's literally just the dough that needs to cook because we've already cooked the filling. And this is how these babies are looking, real good. Some are a bit more crunchy than others, but it's all good. And I've got some soy sauce, some sweet chili sauce, which I love, our sauce that we made earlier, and I've got some plum sauce there as well. And just to recap, the prawn ones I only cooked for about 3 minutes and the veg ones about 5-6 minutes, so they're more crunchy. I'm gonna try this softer one that I made. This is a prawn one. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is fire. Oh my god, this is literally dim sum at home. And I kid you not, that tasted exactly how they make it at the dim sum place I go to, like fire. So that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna go here and eat my gyoza or whatever and watch some more anime. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want more of these cooking ones, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to. Okay, all right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.